They say love is a fairy tale, but hers began as a nightmare. She was just an ordinary girl. Her days were spent working two jobs, her nights sitting by her mother's hospital bed. Bills piled up like mountains, and hope was slipping away. One evening, as rain tapped against the hospital window, her phone rang. A voice told her to come to a place she'd never dared to step into, the office of Alexander Knight, the youngest billionaire in the city. When she entered, the air itself felt heavy. Floor-to-ceiling windows looked out over glittering towers while the man behind the desk sat like a king. His sharp eyes never softened, not even when they landed on her. "You needed help," he said, his voice calm but dangerous. "I'm offering it, but nothing in my world comes for free." Her lips trembled. "I can't accept your charity." "It's not charity," he interrupted coldly. "It's a deal. Marry me, but no one must know." Her heart stopped. "Marry you?" "Yes," he said, leaning back in his chair. "I don't want love. I don't believe in it. I want convenience. Appearances must remain perfect. To the world, I am single, but in reality, you will be bound to me by a contract." She shook her head, clutching her bag to her chest. "Why me?" "There are women lining up at your door." "Because you are ordinary," he said with a smirk. "No connections, no power, no voice. No one will ever suspect. To me, you'll be invisible." His words cut deep, but then he slid a file across the desk. She opened it and her breath caught. Enough money to cover every bill, every debt, enough to give her mother a chance at life. Her eyes blurred with tears. She whispered, "If I sign this, you promise no one will ever know?" "Yes," he said without hesitation. "To the world I remain free. To me, you will be nothing more than a name on paper." She stared at the pen in her hand, her mind screaming at her to run. But her mother's face, pale and weak in that hospital bed, gave her no choice. With trembling fingers, she signed. The sound of the pen scratching against the paper echoed louder than thunder in her heart. She had sealed her fate. That night she arrived at his mansion. Luxury like she had never seen before surrounded her, but every corner felt colder than ice. The staff bowed to him, but their eyes barely glanced at her. "This is your room," he said flatly, opening a door without looking at her. "Stay out of my way, and we'll have no problems." She nodded silently, clutching her small bag. As he walked away, she whispered to herself, "I may be your wife, but to you I'm just a stranger." Days turned into weeks. Their paths crossed only at dinner, where silence was heavier than words. He never looked at her for more than a second. He worked late nights, his life filled with business meetings and parties. Parties where beautiful women hung on his arm. She remained locked away in the shadows of the mansion, invisible. But what he didn't know was that she watched him sometimes from afar. The man who was supposed to be made of stone sometimes looked lonely, staring into the night with a glass of whiskey in his hand. One evening, she gathered courage. "Why did you choose me, really?" she asked softly. He didn't look at her. "Because you don't matter." Her chest ached. "Then why do I feel like I'm the one paying the price for your pain?" His eyes darkened. For a second, she thought she saw something break inside him, but then his cold mask returned. "Don't make the mistake of thinking you know me." The days dragged, but fate had other plans. One stormy night, he returned home late, his shirt torn, a cut across his arm. She rushed forward instinctively. "You're hurt," she cried, grabbing a first aid kit. "Don't touch me," he growled. "Stop being stubborn," she snapped, surprising even herself. "You may not want me as your wife, but I won't stand here and watch you bleed." For the first time, silence fell between them that wasn't cold. His eyes locked on hers, something unreadable flickering there as she pressed the bandage against his skin. Her hands shook, her heart racing, but she didn't look away. When it was done, he whispered almost too softly, You're not what I expected." She froze, her heart leaping, but before she could reply, he stood up, his voice turning cold again. "Don't mistake gratitude for affection. Nothing changes between us." She lowered her gaze, her chest aching, but in that moment, a spark had been lit, a dangerous spark neither of them could admit. And outside the mansion, in the shadows, someone watched them. Someone who knew the truth about their marriage. Soon, their secret wouldn't stay hidden. She thought it was just a contract, but destiny had written something far more dangerous in her secret love diary.